Hello, my lovely Venusians. Today we're talking about the 3 books that we've read so far this year in the Weird, Strange, Literary Black Girl Book Club. You know those books that are described as weird girl fiction? Well, I got tired of seeing the same books recommended with the same, mostly white authors. So this online book club serves as a way for us to hunt down those types of books, but with black main characters. Us reading a book in the book club does not mean that it fits within the weird girl fiction canon. It means that we had a hunch and we're reading it to assess if it fits. Whether it fits the criteria or not, we're still finding so many gems along the way. I really enjoy this process because even though we do have a certain end goal, we're still picking up new authors and praising and hyping up black books regardless. So let's talk about the books that we've read so far and see if they work. Our January pick was a YA book called Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Iyamire. This book follows our main character Sade, who is attending her first day at this elite boarding school. Literally, just as she's starting to connect with her new roommate, she disappears. Sade is amongst the few people at the school, teachers and police included, who are actually genuinely concerned about Elizabeth's whereabouts and figuring out what happened to her. Throughout her time there, Sade finds that there are many secrets within these halls, including some of her own. I thought that this book was really good, and while our main character does embody similar qualities to those of main characters in like weird girl fiction books, the overall structure of the book just adhered too closely to standard genre conventions for it to be considered weird girl to me. What I mean by this is that not every book that has a misunderstood or unique, quirky, any of those kind of things character is a weird girl book to me. Books in this sub-genre often do a thing that I have previously described as abandoning genre conventions. This book does not do that. It is a classic YA mystery, and it's great, and I would definitely recommend it, but I think for the purposes of the book club, it does not fit into our weird black girl canon. The average rating from the book club was a 4.5. We really enjoyed it. I would recommend. Our February pick was Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. It follows Yejide, a young woman living in Nigeria with her husband. They are extremely interested in having children, but are also facing outside pressures from their family and societal norms to have children quickly. When that doesn't happen right away, her husband, fueled by familial pressures, takes on a second wife. As someone who, for myself, like for me, does not believe in marriage and also has no interest in having kids, this was such a tough read for me. Through flashbacks, we see Yejide as this extremely confident, independent, educated woman who even explicitly tells her husband upon meeting that she will never get into a polygamous relationship. Like, this is the foundation of their relationship. She thought that she had found someone whose beliefs aligned with hers, and then he just folded to the pressure, and then she's the only one in the relationship who has to face the backlash over it. Yes, it was frustrating, but it was also so good. First, it's important to note that while often denoted weird girl, there's levels to this shit, okay? I think that weird girl often ranges from sad and introspective, and then on the other side of the spectrum you have unhinged, delusional, and of course there's also everything in between. This book is definitely on the internal emotional side, but I think it does fit. The club average for this book was 4.5. Our March pick was My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyenkan Braithwaite. This is one of the few books by black authors that actually does get its flowers within the weird girl circuit online. It follows Korede, who is a nurse, and her sister Ayula, who is beautiful, aloof, well-liked, and a serial killer. Korede is left to clean up Ayula's messes while also being the only voice of reason or remorse. The book is pretty short, so I don't want to say much more, but I do think that it's important to note that the book does handle ideas of like pretty privilege, governmental corruption, and societal and cultural expectations around familial responsibility. This book has already been inducted by the masses, so who am I to say otherwise? I wouldn't say otherwise anyway. It's definitely weird girl. Book club average was 4 stars. Our current April read is Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein, and while I am loving this book so far, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it and say that this is not weird girl. And then I wanted to do a quick speed round of all of the books that we read last year. There are a few books that I just wanted to rattle off the average rating so we can get caught up, and then from here on out, quarterly, I'll tell you about all of the books. Also, if you're seeing this book before April 23rd, you probably still have time to vote in the Fable Book Club for our May pick. The first book that we read was Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi. This book is incredible and probably my favorite book that we've read so far, and honestly it's a perfect example of what I'm looking for. However, a big portion of the book is reflecting on gender identity, and because of this it's pretty contested on whether it should be slotted into a weird girl category, which like valid. So out of respect for that, I won't be adding it to an official list in the end. However, I highly recommend this book. Then there is Sula by Toni Morrison, which is probably my second favorite book that we've read so far. Group average 4.75. Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. Yes, absolutely fits within the canon. Group rating 4.5. Then we read Homebodies by Tembe Denton Hurst. While I really did not have a good time reading this book, I do think that it fits within the canon, but it's just not for me. The group average rating was 1 star, if we're counting DNFs as 0 stars, which I did. The last book that we read in 2025 was Boy Snow Bird by Helen Oyeyemi. I think that this absolutely fits, and I'm so interested in reading more Helen Oyeyemi. I feel that her works will more often than not definitely be what we're looking for. I'm currently working on what I'm calling my weird black girl axis. Basically, I'm just gonna plot on the chart where I think a book falls, and then I think in the future that can also help us kind of determine if it fits. So on, is that the x-axis? We have reality-based to magic/mythic, and then on the y-axis we have unhinged delusional to sad introspective. Let's say Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. I feel like maybe magic mythic, like dreamlike, needs to be added, but Sugar Baby's definitely more reality-based, but there is something that happens that makes it a little dreamlike. And then I wouldn't say that she's unhinged delusional. It's definitely not super sad introspective, like somewhere in the middle here. Okay, Sugar Baby maybe goes here. My boyfriend just texted me. I just saw the message come up on iMessage on my laptop. He's trying to tell me about the Tiny Bookshop game. Brother, I know. Okay, Boy Snow Bird. Now this book leans heavily into magic, myth, what's it called? Fairy tale, folklore type stuff. And then I would say it's definitely on the more introspective side than unhinged delusional. So I'd say this goes like maybe here. And as we get more things on the board, things will kind of move around a bit in relation to what it's by. But that's like the general gist of it. I was wondering if I should like just plot everything, or if maybe I should try to do a live stream and talk about these books with people and get people's opinions. So I'll maybe put that on Instagram and TikTok and the Fable Book Club and see if anyone would be down for that, like to do a live stream of plotting these. Or if I should wait, like maybe we do it halfway through the year, at the end of the year, or something like that. I don't know. Okay, bye!